Good evening, Mr. Cohen.
Ah, Duddy, just the man I'm looking for. Take a seat, Sugar Plum.
Thank you, sir. Well, my driver was in an accident.
I heard him, Duddy. You tried some of this yogurt. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, well, he's crippled for life. And it's all my fault.
The hell it is, sweet cheeks. You know I nearly went to jail? Duddy, but I had a partner, and he wasn't, excuse me. He wasn't nearly as smart as I was. And he's the one who went to jail, not me. You know what I'm trying to say, Rainbow?
Duddy Kravitz is a character who was influenced poorly by a variety of savvy businessmen throughout the novel. Mr. Cohen is the owner of a scrapyard in Montreal. Duddy wants to become successful, but it's hard for him to do honest business when one of his largest idols and successful businessmen throughout the novel is constantly finding ways to cheat others in order for him to get ahead. Mr. Cohen's business has been done so illegally that he almost went to jail for it, but instead he managed to cheat his partner, and his partner went instead. But I had a partner, and he wasn't as smart as me, so he went to jail instead. Richler 3:12. In this quote, Mr. Cohen leaves the impression that the business world is like a free-for-all, and you can cheat whoever you like in order to reach the top. These poor impressions inflict Duddy's decision-making and altering the way he treats others, resulting in criminal-like business activity. Also, in this scene, we get to see a bit of Duddy's sensitive side when he becomes concerned about Virgil. He's crippled for life, and it's all my fault. Richler 3:12. This quote shows that Duddy does have general concern for Virgil. The next character I will analyze is Jerry Dingelman, the Boy Wonder.
No such luck. I'm here about New York.
Aha.
I need some money.
Yes.
A loan, you see.
I see. Aren't you afraid that a gangster of my reputation might take you for a ride?
Listen, Jerry, let's get one thing straight from the start. I'm tired of people making fun of me, and that includes you, okay?
Jerry Dingelman is the second of the two most successful businessmen mentioned in the novel. Jerry is somewhat of a gangster, which becomes evident due to his drug dealing, which consisted of heroin. The hat Mr. Dingelman was wearing was supposed to symbolize his gangster qualities. The fact that he is a gangster was mentioned in his speech in hopes that he could portray fear into Duddy. Aren't you afraid that a gangster of my reputation might take you for a ride? Richler 3:41. This is another case where Duddy was influenced poorly by an idol. Duddy could have found a way to get his money in a more peaceful manner somewhere else, but these idols had finally gotten beneath Duddy's skin, and now he was set on becoming the most successful Jew in Montreal. Role models are people who influence young people the strongest, and unfortunately these two men had influenced Duddy quite negatively. Next, I will analyze Duddy's father, yet another poor influence on Duddy's young life.
I'm gonna take Gisette somewhere.
So, why can't Dabrowski take Gisette?
It's Duddy me. No more questions, okay?
Jeez. That's something. You're a pimp!
Get out, Johnny!
Max Kravitz is a single father of two boys. He loves them both dearly and works quite hard as a taxi driver trying to keep food on the table. Max also has negative qualities, which affects Duddy quite greatly due to the fact that his mother had passed away when he was very young, and she was unable to influence and or shape Duddy's life in any way. Max is quite disrespectful to women, which becomes evident when we learn about his pimping background. You're a pimp, Richler 28. This is where Duddy comes to the realization that his father isn't quite an angel. This doesn't affect Duddy that greatly because he has become used to his father's overpowering personality. The fact that Duddy treats Yvette poorly throughout the novel could be linked back to his father. Now, ask yourselves, if a child is taught to act poorly, is it really the child's fault he acts poorly? Now I will analyze Duddy's ambitions to impress his Zeta and how this faults his vision on what choices are good and or bad.
A man without land is nothing. That's what you always told me. Well, I'm a somebody, a real somebody.
No! No! No!
I'm sorry, Zeta. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zeta. Zeta, please.
Simka may be the most important person in Duddy's life. Simka has wishes that Duddy would become successful in Montreal, despite the anti-Semitism that was strongly displayed. Duddy was told to never hurt a Zeta from his Uncle Benji, and when Duddy hears that Simka would love for him to earn land, Duddy jumps at the first opportunity he gets. Duddy tries to earn land for all the right reasons. The way he earns this land was too terrible for his Zeta to handle. Simka is a man with high morals, and this is why he becomes so upset after hearing the news that Duddy had cheated his own friends just to impress them. Duddy, in hopes of not disappointing his Zeta, tries to persuade him to be proud of him, but Simka was too upset to listen. A man without land is nothing. That's what you always told me. Well, I'm a somebody. A real somebody. Richler 374. Duddy knows what he has done is wrong, but in search for Zeta's approval, Duddy's vision becomes too clouded to see the morally correct path. Next, I will analyze the importance of Duddy's family and how they bring out the best qualities in Duddy.
Look here, Kravitz. You're a brat and an exhibitionist.
You insulted my father, sir. I've got witnesses.
Yeah! And you're a fumble dumper!
That's an insult to my family, sir.
Well, I'm not going to strap you, though I won't give you that satisfaction.
Duddy cares for his family more than he cares for the world. Duddy is always trying to impress his Zeta. He defends his brother, and here he defends his father's parently figure. You insulted my father. I've got witnesses. That's an insult to my family, sir. Richler 10. This shows the love Duddy has for his father, and how, without Max, Duddy wouldn't be the young man he has become. Also, by definition from Jason, and I quote, a frumpledumper is an insult that no one understands, therefore they cannot respond to it. What can I say? He has an avid imagination. Next, we will hear a compliment from Hugh Calder, and then I will analyze the meaning behind it.
Well, you can tell him from me he's lucky to have you for a brother.
Oh, you'd be surprised at some of the things I've done in my time.
I wouldn't.
Hugh Calder's compliment about how much Duddy cares for his family shows that even people who barely know Duddy can see that he has the utmost admiration and love for his family. Well, you can tell him he's lucky to have you for a brother. Richler 230. It is commendable to see other characters recognize Duddy's value of family. This quote was directed towards Lenny, because Duddy had gone out of his way to persuade Mr. Calder into letting Lenny continue studying on McGill, despite the fact that he had recently attempted an illegal abortion. By the way, the coat hanger was supposed to symbolize abortion. I told you that wasn't a good idea, Jason. Anyway, this entire scene shows how Duddy is a family-orientated guy, and this can be seen as a great personal trait to have. Now I will analyze Duddy's relationship with Virgil.
I spoke to Dabrowski at Eddie's. His brother-in-law has a used car lot, and he's got a 49 Chevy. A half-ton job, but it's a beautiful shape, and he wants $12.50 for it. If you're interested and willing to pay cash, I'm sure I could swing it for $1,000.
When could you know definitely?
Where are you going?
Go to...
Well, anyway, maybe you ought to sleep on it, Virgie. I don't want to push you.
Imagine you'd give a guy like me a job. You'd trust me.
Virgil is an epileptic and one of Duddy's closest friends. When Duddy offers Virgil a job, he becomes almost excited. Imagine, you give a guy like me a job. You trust me. Richler 252. This quote shows that Virgil was actually excited to get the job of driving the truck, and it wasn't forced onto him in any way. Duddy also goes into great emphasis of trying to explain to Virgil that this decision is completely his to decide. Maybe you ought to sleep on it, Virgie. I don't want to push you. Richler 252. This again shows that this decision was Virgil's and Virgil's alone. Therefore, when Virgil gets into the accident, it should not be considered in any way Duddy's fault. He was just trying to help with a friend, and it is evident that Virgil realizes this. Also, the doll in the scene was another one of Jason's must-haves. He named it Bruce. I guess that guy has some weird acting conditions, but I guess since I wasn't paying him, I guess that's okay. Anyway, thanks for watching.